Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to build this traffic light kit from Mitch Electronics.co.uk. On the packaging we've got a QR code that takes us to their website where the instructions are. Put a link in the video underneath so you can go to it directly. Let's have a look what we've got. We've got two small circuit boards, three LEDs, a little link socket, two IC sockets, two ICs, diodes, capacitors, non-electrolytic, electrolytic capacitor, and we've got 5 resistors. So we're going to have 3 on here, 2 on the main board. So I've been and had a look on the website, and on the main board we've got a 10k and a 22k. So R1 is the brown, black, orange, which is this one. Let's put that in. Brown, black, orange is a 10k resistor. And then okay. Resistor slightly longer than the actual. What's it? An R2 is a 220k, which is red, orange, which is what we've got here. So we'll solder these on before we go any further. We're going to put these diodes in here. The black stripe facing forward because the stripe is there on the board. Just put them in, give them a push down. With these, they're a bit delicate, so don't try and use cutters or pliers or anything to bend them. Use your fingers, because you will break them. They do break easily, these glass diodes do. So, where were we? Oh yeah, we were feeding these in. Just gonna check these are the right way around. Little black tab at the top, as I said. If you look on the website, which is mitchelectronics.com, .co.uk, there's an explanation of how the circuit works. There's the circuit being shown in a circuit design emulator as well, and they explain all the various different parts of the circuit, which is quite interesting. If you have a look at the other video that I did for the electronic dice from the same company, I have covered working out resistor color codes and how you can do that. Okay, so let's put a bit of solder on all of these. The same as the last board from this company that I built. It's soldering incredibly well and incredibly easily. So I'm not fighting to get the solder to flow. I'm not fighting to get a good joint, which is, absolutely brilliant. It shows that there's good quality materials being used in it. I think this kit was about £5 or thereabouts. They've been doing some discounts here and there, and I bought this off eBay. However, they do sell their kits directly on their website. I'm kind of just impressed by them. Having done some of the Chinese kits that are not very good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get my cutters, the tip of my cutters in each of these, and just cut them off. Just to tidy up. You can do this after you've built everything, but I prefer to do it as I go. Right, so what have we got left to build? A couple of IC sockets. I'm just looking at the height of stuff, so I think we'll put these capacitors on next. They're both the same value, so because they've come on a card together, so there's no need for me to have a look on a circuit diagram. So we'll pop them in. Be gentle with these when you're spreading the legs. You can break them, as they're made out of quite a soft material, and it can crack and it can break under here. I think they make them and then dip them in some sort of liquid to seal them up. And then just solder them. Okie dokie. And put that on here. This is the connector that's going to connect the traffic lights up. There's two connectors. One is straight, one has an angle on it. If you put them the other way around, it won't sit properly, so I'm going to go this way. Do the two ends first. That way then it can't fall apart. So obviously there's a common on here, and an output for red, output for green, and an output for yellow stroke orange. Okay, IC sockets. When we do these, we need to look at the end, and there's a notch there. That lines up with the notch on the board, just for good practice. I'm going to go to the two ends of the IC socket, opposite corners, and I'm just going to bend over the legs. That holds the socket in place prior to soldering. I'm going to put the second socket in as well. Same routine. I'm looking to put the notch at the top. This makes it a little bit easier when we come to assemble it. The legs on here are a little bent, so we'll just give them a straighten. Get them somewhat alike. If you put the socket in backwards, it doesn't matter as long as you put the IC in the correct way round. Which on this circuit diagram, or this circuit design, is the notch or the dot, depending on the IC, goes to the top. Now I've bent them over, that's going to stay put. Let's solder those into place. You don't want to keep the heat on the board too long, because it will transfer through to the socket or the component and can destroy both. So I tend to go for using a fairly hot iron and keep the contact time down as low as possible. This iron that I'm using at the moment is at 400 degrees centigrade. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Okay, what's left on here? We've got a board capacitor to put in. Plus is at the top. Long leg goes to the plus. Just going to push that down so it pushes the capacitor into place. Solder one leg and then solder the second leg. Trim. And put these ICs in. Tags at the top. What I'm doing, I put one set of legs against the back and then I'm just sort of moving the IC across to get the other legs to go into place. Now this one has got some bent legs, so I'm just going to put them sort of roughly back where they belong. I think what I'm going to do is do this one backwards. Well, not backwards, just do this edge that's got the bent legs on first, because the other edge, the legs are all fairly good, so it'll go back in okay. Now, because I've had bent legs on here, what I'm just watching for is sometimes the legs can bend underneath rather than go into the socket. So they've gone in. Notch at the top to go with the board. Last piece on here is going to be to solder the power cable on. Comes with a nice little connector for a PP9, which is great. One, two. I'll pop that to one side, and then we'll come back to this part here. I think we'll start at the bottom and put the connector in to join the two together. That's come out of place. So because I've only put a little bit of solder on both of these, I can warm the joints back up and they'll go back in, and I can improve what I've got going on. There we go. Okay, and that's got a blob of solder on the other side as well, so we know that's gone through. There's no plus or minus marked on here. However, having built one of his kits before, the long lead is the plus. The plus goes to the round terminal. So you actually end up with the flat bit of the diode next to the square. Red, green, blue. That's not red, green, blue. It's red, orange, red, amber. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of solder on each of these quickly, just to stop them falling out. Then I'm going to put my finger on the LED, warm the solder up, and I'm just pushing them squarely and firmly back against there, just to make them tidy. You do that before you solder the second one, and it just makes life a little bit easier for you. Okay. Trim them. Plug that into there. I assume that goes that way around. Looks like it. Well, we'll find out. If it's backwards, it won't light up. Oh, there we go. So we've got red, and what I'm assuming is it'll go through the sequence in a moment and change. Red, amber, and then on to green. Amber, and then red. There we go. And that's going to sit there following the sequence. And of course, this is the sequence that traffic lights go in the UK. Let's turn some other light off around here. So there we go. Another little cracking little board there. Does exactly what it says on the box. Sits there, changes colour, and yeah, could use that on a miniature train track or a Scalextric track or whatever. I'm sure there's many uses for it. But from a build aspect, really nice to build, straightforward. But thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has been an interesting video for you. If you could hit the subscribe and the other buttons and stuff they like you to hit, it helps with YouTube's algorithm and helps with people watching. But have a good day, and thank you.